Hey everybody, welcome to Vision One Media Artist Shoutout. My name is Ella Beth. As every week, I'm going to be your host this week. This week's artist is someone that I've connected with through Vision One Media here at the studios. She's not from Atlanta. She's a recent transplant, kind of like I am.
Yes.
And she is an artist working on all different facets of her artistry as a musician. But I'm really excited to chat with her because she's also done a whole bunch of other things within media and entertainment.
Yes.
So without further ado, welcome Janaya.
Man, I'm so grateful to be here.
Thank
Such a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for coming, and especially after like the long time that it's taken to organize this interview.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Finally.
Yeah,
we made perfect timing. We made it work.
Yeah. So you just mentioned before we went live that or went on air that you used to work for Fox News and you were
yes I was producing there.
Okay,
so actually
tell me about that.
Yeah, I was a journalism major in college. So I was doing all things media, whether that's photography, videography, script writing, producing, all that kind of stuff. And actually one of my professors was an anchor at the Fox 8 News that I was working at. And so once that graduation came around, he's like, are you looking for a job? Like, would you like to be in a position to where you can kind of utilize your major? And I'm like, yeah. So he's like, apply to Fox. We're looking for some producers that'll help us write some stories.
That's so
I applied. I got it. It was amazing. I worked there for a year before COVID hit, and then everything got super crazy. It was layoffs, all that kind of stuff. But I want to say that it was just like a blessing in disguise, because as soon as I got laid off, I feel like the music for me started taking off. So that's when I started putting my music on streaming platforms for the first time. So that's when, I was used to doing the My Mixtapes or the SoundCloud, the apps to where you can't really get revenue from it. It's just kind of like a download thing. But once I started putting stuff on like Apple Music, Spotify, that's when I felt like I really started creating a fan base. So COVID was a blessing in disguise for me. I mean, got to work my major, my degree a little bit, and I got to see what that world is like. I think that television is interesting. It's its own type of thing, but I do think that it kind of correlates, and it helped me with knowing how to be poised on air and what to say and what to do, and just it definitely helped me a lot. So grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, even the fact that you got to work, like you said, they kind of aligned in a way.
Yes.
That entertainment and all of that, and that you got to work in teams with people who used other facets of that creativity.
Absolutely.
I think that's really important as musicians, especially for you. Do you play instruments?
I don't.
Okay.
My voice is my only instrument, but I am interested in learning how to play the guitar. I think that instrument is just that acoustic sound. I feel like there's nothing like it. And if I could learn how to play the guitar within the next year, then watch out, people.
Come on, it's gonna be a whole.
It's gonna be a triple threat,
yeah. But I was just thinking, like, I would say for those of us, I also am primarily a vocalist, and so being able to like work in teams I feel is so important, because we have to rely on other musicians. We have to rely on. So that's really, really cool that you got to see a different sort of scope of entertainment and the professionality of it.
Right. It's fast paced. That's one thing that helped me out as far as being on a tight schedule and just knowing how to be prepared, be ready. Things are bound to change. With the news, it could be like a breaking story. Like one of our breaking stories was the Kobe, the death with the helicopter. That was something that we literally kind of had to break, and it was something different for me because I'm usually on a schedule. So whenever we get certain things where it's just like, hey, this is eyewitness, it helped me to kind of move and just go with the flow. So I think that's helped me a lot. If I have to write a song really fast, sometimes you don't have a few weeks or a few days. Sometimes they might need that song in 30 minutes. So I feel like working in that news environment helped me to get up off my tail when it comes to music too, and just be ready for anything at any moment. And
you mentioned in the bio that you sent over to me that coming to Atlanta was really important in that songwriting process. So would you say that like COVID kind of gave you the space to think about really where you wanted to focus your energy, and that you want to hone in on the writing?
Absolutely. I feel like ever since I was about 12, which is when I had my first like studio session, recording session, ever since then I knew I wanted to do music, but I also loved school. I was a schoolgirl. I went to college. So, you know, those who have tried to pursue like a musical career and go to school, like I'm sure you know, like it's a hard balance sometimes. Yeah. It's hard to do 50-50. At times you find yourself giving attention to one or the other.
Yeah.
But I think that once I got schooling out of the way, that was that perfect opportunity. And especially, like I said, COVID moved work out the way. So at that point, it's literally like I was left with my gift. That was it. So that was the moment and the opportunity. I was like, I have to spread thin. Like I have to go out. Yes. And I knew a great producer here in Atlanta called Chi, and he does some producing for Lil Baby and 4PF and a lot of different other famous rappers. But he actually called me one day and was like, hey, you know, you still songwrite and stuff, you know, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, I do. He's like, well, how fast can you get to Atlanta? And I said, tomorrow. Do you guys need me tomorrow? And they're like, yeah, come down tomorrow. Yeah. So I came down that fast. I met a lot of other dope producers and songwriters. And then from there, it just kind of became a thing where I was here in Atlanta every week, still while living in Charlotte. Yeah. So I'm taking trips, 3.5, 4-hour trips every week, coming back and forth. And it just got to a point after doing that for 3 months, I was like, I have to be here now.
Make the move.
Yeah. I mean, when the mileage, the gas, I'm like, you know what?
In this inflation, in this economy.
Already with COVID, I'm like, yeah. So we got to make a decision really fast.
Yeah.
So right then, and it's just like God works in mysterious ways, because I moved within like a week. It was like a week decision. I didn't even get to tour my apartment. I literally just came to Atlanta.
Wow.
And it's like doors just open. So now I've been here. I love Atlanta. So much opportunity out here. And it's just been a domino effect. You know, you meet a great person, a great artist, musician, and then they connect you to another one. Yeah. And then before you know it, you know all different kinds of people doing all different styles of music.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that adds to my artistry. I get to soak up a little bit and, you know, continue to improve my own personal skills.
Absolutely. Yeah. Being around the creative community here. And it's true, like the community, it is a community here. It is a scene. And I love that. And I really love that there are like pockets of different like kind of genres or styles of music, or you know, but at the same time, it's very ebb and flow, and people can move in and out.
Yes,
and I really love that about Atlanta. I don't know if all cities, you can say that about all sort of musical hub cities in the world, so it's really cool.
Yeah, Atlanta, it's unique. And then I'm a Southern girl naturally. Even though I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, I'm from a small town outside the city. So coming here to Atlanta, I was still familiar with kind of like that country feel, but you get the city too, the closer you get to downtown Atlanta. So I like having the best of both worlds. It reminds me of back home. And then when you're in the city, it's just like a mini New York or a mini LA, you know, as far as
tall buildings and walking fast.
Yes,
absolutely.
Everybody's up all night, like on a good weekend without the rain. You know, everybody's outside here in Atlanta, so that's another
park
thing.
Festivals.
We have so many festivals here.
All the free festivals.
Yes,
truly, like that as well. Like as a new person to Atlanta, I also
it's a plus.
It's really cool. It's and that again, like it keeps building towards like the community atmosphere. I don't go super down to, like, just to digress, I don't go down to super often down to OT2. No, what's it called when you're inside the perimeter?
Is it?
So like Atlanta.
Is Atlanta. Yeah. Right, and then you have like the outskirts. I live in the outskirts. So yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, when I do go down there, it's super cool. You know, Little 5 Points is such an incredible melting pot of culture, and the Beltline is just this incredible cultural like experience.
Yes, and then you have Midtown, you have Buckhead.
Yeah. So I think we have a really cool city, and also I think it's a really important time to be in the Atlanta music scene, because all of Atlanta is growing so quickly right now. Like being part of it, we're not at the grassroots stage, obviously. Like y'all have been doing your thing here for years and years and years. We know, and respect to y'all. But it also kind of feels like as it's growing so quickly, it's like, cool, we get to be part of like growing something.
Yes, absolutely. I feel like Atlanta, like you said, has been one of the biggest music hubs outside of like New York and LA. And it's something to me that Atlanta offers that just the other popular cities don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's just that Southern, that style. It's just like Atlanta has been so influential when it comes to music. I feel like in the last like 2 decades, honestly, since the 90s, I mean, a lot of famous songs that you hear that's even being sampled today has came from Atlanta artists. So I love it. To me, it's just like I felt like a shark in a fish tank back home. You know, I felt like for a moment that was the right size for me and the right environment. But I felt like, look, dump me in the ocean with the big fish.
Yeah, like, let's go.
That's what Atlanta was for me. Like a more of an ocean. I'm like,
come on, girl. Respect that.
I can't swim.
Think that's badass. But you're going to learn.
I'm going to learn.
Learn real quick.
You know, and sometimes you have to do what makes you feel uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And I think that a lot of people think that if it makes me uncomfortable, maybe it's not for me. But it's just like sometimes you have to shift your perspective and say, maybe it's just unfamiliar.
Right.
Maybe
you can
once
grow into it.
Yes. Maybe once I do it, I'll end up looking back months later and saying, wow, I'm so glad I did that. And that's me right now. So I literally can't ask for a better time in my life to be here. I think it was very intentional. Like I said, every single day I'm meeting amazing people. You, for example.
Right.
But
and the Vision One Media team, shout out to y'all.
Yes, absolutely. Shout out to Vision. Yes, shout out to Vision One, Suya Vibes. I mean, great studio to record at, but not only to record. I mean, this is like a multifaceted studio.
Right.
They have the selfie rooms in there, and then this. So yeah, shout out to Vision One. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, I agree. I like what we do here.
Yeah.
So since you've been here in Atlanta, what would you say have been the ways that you've grown as an artist?
Yeah. I think, like I was saying earlier, the pace that I write is different. Back in Charlotte, I could write fast. I mean, that was cool. But it's like I wasn't put in situations to where I had to get this stuff out and this label wants this and this artist is looking for this. When I got here, the pace and the motion was so much more fluid. So I feel like for me, that gave me the perfect opportunity to really just dive into my skills. And then it's like moving away from home. Of course, you have the feels. We were talking about that before as far as being separated with your family. I moved out here solo. So it's like most of my family and friends are home. So whenever I feel those emotions that would otherwise make you want to just, mope around, that's when I have to use that to put on a song.
Get the pen out or type it,
Yes, get the pen out, turn that voice recorder on, start laying those melodies down. So I feel like that's definitely helped me. Also, the people here are just different. I feel like everybody has the same mindset of like, let's go get it.
Let's do it.
Even if they haven't really heard of you and your music, once they hear you, if they believe in that sound, it's just like, they're willing to put you on an opportunity, which is what I like, because I came in here kind of like the little fish. You know what I'm saying? I'm finding my way and trying to figure out the who's who, where should I be? And I felt like I was really embraced with open arms here as far as just, hey, this is Janaya. I would like for you to meet her. And it's just like, in Charlotte, to me, I wasn't familiar with that type of help when it came to just connecting and meeting new people and people wanting to see you win. So I feel like that right there has just added a bit of confidence to my writing too, because it's like, look, I don't even have any major records under my belt yet, and look at who I'm around and who I've met and who I've been able to work with. So confidence, my pace, of course, coming down here, I've experienced more life stuff, dating, all that kind of stuff. So that's giving me different perspectives
things
to write about. Yes, because I mean, I think love is one of the funnest things to write about. I mean, who doesn't like writing about love? I'm a rhythm and blues R&B singer, so obviously love is like one of the most predominant things that you hear in my music. I feel like that's like a common theme. So yeah, that's also added to some of my storytelling in my music. So yeah. That's really cool.
So if you were gonna record a track with any artist, like an R&B kind of like sexy love.
Answer.
Who is it?
My number one music idol, R&B, is Brandy.
Love that.
Brandy. It's gonna always and forever, hands down, be Brandy. I grew up in a Brandy household. I grew up listening to the Full Moon album. I love the way she sings her songs. I love how many harmonies and just how melodic she is. You know, once you listen to her songs, they're very layered. You hear a sound, and then you almost have to listen to it a couple times to soak up all of the goodness
of it. For sure.
So yes, if there could be one person that I feel like I would love to be on the track with, it'd be her. I feel like that would be a dream come true for me. So Brandy, if you come across this video.
Brandy, if you're listening, if you're watching, or someone who knows Brandy even, you know, we're all about community and putting each other on.
Like, plug me in. That would be epic.
That's
for
so
sure.
Cool. Oh, well, I'm going to manifest that for you. I like that. I like that.
Thank you.
So you said in the bio that you sent over that you have a few different goals. There's not a timeline on them, and I like that. I believe like goals are to be like they come to you.
We don't know. We don't know the timeline.
Right. But you would love to be a Grammy Award-winning songwriter. I wonder about this because I also dream about that. Would you? Would any Grammy be okay, or is there like a specific Grammy that you're like, man, that would be like my dream?
I say just Grammy Award winning because I want to dibble and dabble in more than just R&B. If I could have a Grammy in country music and gospel and R&B and pop and contemporary, whatever genre it is, I want it. And that's the reason why I think that I like the songwriting position more, because rarely do you see artists that can master getting a Grammy in all different types of genres. Usually it's the genre that they're singing, R&B, hip hop, whatever the case may be. I'm like, you know what? I want to expand my territory. I just don't want to be an R&B songwriter. I feel like I can pull from a lot of different sounds. I even did a country record here with Kurt Gray. He's an country artist that is amazing. He was on The Voice as well. And that was my first country song that I've ever written for anybody. And when I tell you, I was kind of nervous because I'm like, this sounds country and I like it. But it took me into hearing him, a country singer, sing it to where I started believing like, oh my gosh, I think I can dabble into the country music too, songwriting, you know, because it's really all about telling a story. The lyrics is part. The artist is going to sell how it's supposed to be sung. You know, so it's like as long as your words and your lyrics are consistent, are genuine, are matches with the beat, I feel like you'll be a successful songwriter. So I just say Grammy Award winning songwriter because it's like in any genre, I'm open to it. I would love that. To dibble and dabble in different genres. I don't want to have...
And would that be dabbling, like just as a songwriter for others or also as an artist?
Yeah, I think that as an artist too. And I think about this all the time because a lot of people ask me, do you like being a songwriter more? Do you like being an artist more? And it's so hard for me to pick because... I love the artistry stuff. I love being the face, but sometimes I just like my words to kind of be, and I like to be in the background. You know, a lot of people know that there's a lot that comes with fame. There's a lot that comes with being the face of something, you know, and having hundreds of thousands of people putting their opinion on you and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like being the songwriter, I get to conceal a little bit of that privacy and still kind of live a semi-normal life while still being in the right circles, still getting that residual income. So it's not like I'm getting half of the industry. I'm still in it. It's just the world probably knows less about my personal stuff. You know, which is fine with me. But I think I might have to pull like a Neo move or something to where he started off as a great songwriter working for people like Michael Jackson. I mean, imagine being a songwriter and you're writing for the king of pop. You know what I'm saying? So even before Neo got his name as Neo, people knew him as a great songwriter, but he used that as the master key to open up his artistry. So now we know him as his own household name. So I feel like that's the route that I want to go in. I'm going to let my lyrics and my songwriting be like that master key to open up, like, hey, if I'm supposed to be the next Beyonce, then I'm not going to deny that either. But I think that songwriting is that main avenue for me right now.
And you know what? I really respect that because... and this is like no shade to like never would I ever say anything untoward to other artists. But like there aren't always great songwriters who are also performers. And there aren't always great performers who songwrite.
Absolutely.
I think that And also, they're all like, you're a black woman a black woman in the industry that is predominantly run by white men. So you have such an important thing to say, and like I just want to acknowledge that, because that's
so much.
That is really important. You know, it is important in the industry.
Yeah.
So if you're going to dabble in some other styles and stuff, would you see yourself releasing entire albums under different styles?
Yeah, I think that'd be really fun. So while I've been in Atlanta, I've dibbled and dabbled into the pop music. So I've always loved pop music, but I'm more so like listening to it. I never kind of took the time out. And I think it probably was because I didn't have producers around me that were sending me pop records for me to want to even record to. But moving here and getting connected with different producers, I have them sending me pop records, like something you would hear from Ed Sheeran, Maroon 5, Taylor Swift, Katy Perry. So now that I'm hearing, beats like that, now I've gotten into writing pop, and I can definitely see myself dropping like a little mixtape or something to where I'm getting to showcase and show off how I could write and how I can perform the pop stuff. So I think pop and country, those are the two genres that I don't naturally do that I believe that I could do really well. I'm a country girl at heart. I'm used to the cow manure and fields, hella fields.
Yeah, you're from the part of the world where
the down south,
Yeah.
And so I definitely think that country or pop, I can see myself putting out a tape or something with just that. I think that'd be fun. People would get to see a different side of me.
I like that. That's cool. That's cool. And so please tell everyone if that's what they want to hear from you. No promises, but you know what? Manifesting, you put it out in the universe. Yes. Can you tell everyone where to find you?
Yes, absolutely.
All over the interwebs.
Yes. So my name is Janaya Tashe. That's JANIAHTASHAE. And that is consistent on all of my social platforms. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube. Same thing. Janaya Tashe. I have a few music videos on YouTube, and I'm actually going to be dropping some new material very, very, very soon.
So tell us about the new material.
Yes. So it's been a year since I've released a project. This is my third baby that I'm dropping. I dropped my first one in 2021 due to COVID. Thanks to COVID for pushing me to really drop my first streaming platform, first music on streaming platforms. Second one I dropped last year called Gemini, and it was my first album, and it was really a reflection of just who I am, my personality, just that hot and cold, that Gemini type of girl. But this one right here is giving.
Are you a Gemini?
I am. Are you a Gemini too?
Me too. Yeah.
Oh my God. You see
just
how
our
things
season.
just right. It's just we're great people. But this third one is definitely Lover Girl, and I'm thinking about titling that. Right now it's untitled. It's in the process of getting mastered, so of course ironing out all the kinks. But the songs are finished. It's a 10-song project.
Wow.
It's very
congratulations.
Thank you.
That's really exciting.
Thank you.
10 songs is a big deal. Like EPs, you can drop an EP
and sometimes
every
it's
6
not
months,
enough.
but a 10-song album, come on.
Yes, and it's so crazy how making music works, because some of the songs I wrote on there I just did a month ago, and then some I did 2 years ago. So it's crazy how songs that you thought were old ends up being like the perfect piece to the new stuff that you're doing. But I think I'm going Lover Girl just because, like I was saying before, I've had different dating experiences being out here, and I think I've gone through every little emotion you can go through while dating. So the excited, the infatuation, but then the confusing, and then the angry. Now I'm pissed. Now it's F you, I'm on my own type of thing. So all those kind of emotions that you feel. Ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about, because
absolutely.
we,
especially
emotions
in a new city, when you're dating in a new city. Oh my word, I've done that.
It's very crazy.
Wild.
And it takes a while normally before you can find somebody that actually clicks with you. So this tape just kind of talks about that emotional roller coaster. And I feel like there's a song for every emotion. For the lover girl that's totally in the perfect relationship and loves her man, I have something for you. For the girl that's trying to get over a relationship and you're really heartbroken and you don't know what's next, I have something for you. For the girl that's very sexual and loves the physical touch and all that kind of stuff, I have a song for that too. So this is definitely a slower to mid-tempo tape. So with Gemini, I was giving a little bit of diversity with some up-tempo songs. This right here is just that smooth coasting tape. This is what you want to put on when you're in the car, you're traveling, when you're cooking, you're lighting a candle in your home.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one is just like all the feels. I'm excited to release it. I'm kind of getting vulnerable in some of the tracks too. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of guys that's going to listen to that tape and be like, that kind of sounds like something me and her went through.
Yeah.
And it is. Thank you for being the inspiration.
I love that. We got that on tape here.
Yes.
Amazing. Good. You know what? And good on you. Like, absolutely.
Yes. And I feel like that's the pro of being a songwriter, of being a musician. It's just like, there's always a reason for your life experiences.
Yeah,
you don't let it go to waste. Even if it's something embarrassing that you don't want to talk about, you can literally write about it and make it abstract in a song. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, even though you don't want to talk about it, realize that there's somebody else out there going through the exact same thing.
And they might need to hear about it.
And they might need to hear it. They want to hear how you said it. They want to hear you explain musically how it feels. And that's what I try to do when I write music. I want somebody to be able to turn on their radio or listen to their headphones and be like, oh my God, she said something that I wanted to say, but I didn't know how.
Right.
But the way she just sung that is like perfect for how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
That's the type of emotion that I want to invoke with anybody that listens to my music. So yeah, this tape I'm excited for. I'm excited.
Ooh,
it's the feels. Now I'm thinking
excited.
like, do I want to call it the feels? Like, what do I want to do?
I'm excited. Okay, cool. So when do you think, do you have like a sort of timeline about when you
so
want
I'm
to drop
thinking
this?
end of July.
Okay. Soon.
Yes, very soon. Very soon.
Yo, go and follow and subscribe and like on all the platforms, yo.
Please.
For real.
Please. And then leading up to me dropping it too, I'll be dropping some content of just me and all the studio sessions that I, have done while writing this music. I feel like it's important for people to see the backhand side too. And I used to think it was something that people wouldn't be interested in, but they love seeing you working in the studio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They want to see you in your zone. They want to see you behind that mic, seeing how you sung it. Sometimes you might sing a note 15 times before you get it right. But people like hearing that and seeing that hustle and, oh my gosh,
and
look
process,
at you. Yes. So I'll be dropping some content and some clips of the process of making that too. So I'm excited, guys. I think that this right here is something that you want to listen to. It is.
Awesome. I'm excited. I'm certainly excited to listen to it. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
end of July. All right.
Yes.
I just recently got a Spotify Premium account. My husband and I are sharing it. So
no ads.
Right. So I can listen to Untitled currently.
Yes.
All the way through. No ads.
Absolutely. Oh, that's going to be great. I feel like listening, and that's another thing that's an underrated part about making a project, whether it's an EP or an album, is the track list, the order.
So important.
It's so important.
That's like more important than your like wedding day ceremony timeline.
Yeah.
Like get your track list in order.
I'm telling you, because each song is gonna invoke a different emotion, but you want it to make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be very odd to have a very slow song and then you're like, toot that ass up next, and then you're going back sad again. You want to make sure that everything is fluid. So I think that's one thing I've taken my time with. Like even listening to how a song ends and listening to how another song begins, does it sound cohesive? Can I put that back to back? Do I need to rearrange it so that it makes sense? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, this is the tape you can listen to with your eyes closed full through, and you won't have to open your eyes like, what happened? Or that was an abrupt, you know what I'm saying? Like when the vibe's off and you're like, what the hell?
That's such a good analogy.
Yes. It knocks the vibe off. It knocks the vibe off. You're like, and you want to love it. And you probably still do really like it, but that right there sets you back a little bit. So I don't want anybody set back. I want everybody to listen to this and be like, yeah, that was smooth. From the start to beginning. Nice. That was smooth. Yeah. Yeah,
because then it becomes like a whole sensory experience. Like you said, if you can close your eyes and you can like enjoy it all. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very important.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you mentioned that. People don't always talk about that on the podcast, and I'm like, that's really cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. So before we end, I always like to do a little lightning sort of speed challenge round.
Okay.
So don't worry.
I'm competitive. What are we doing?
All right. So I want to know some answers to some questions.
Okay. Give it to me.
If you could have written one song that someone else wrote in the world, what song would that be? That one song that you're just like, man, I wish I wrote that.
Her Damage. That's one of the recent songs. Well, I think that came out maybe last year or something like that. One thing I love about it is that it's a Janet Jackson sample. And a lot of people don't know that. But it's like if you listen to, I forgot which specific Janet Jackson song that it is, but it's that same exact beat. The tempo is slightly off. But those who know music can tell, like, whoa, that's Janet. Janet is a legend, you know, when it comes to music. So that right there, listening to how it was written perfectly, for sure. But
it's an incredible song.
But that was one of the songs I would have loved to be in that session, helping them out. I think it was just smooth. And then, like I said, I'm a lover girl. I love the love songs. And that was one of the ones recently where I'm like, kudos to them.
Yeah, no, that is an excellent track. Every time I hear it, I'm just like, all right, everyone just stop what you're doing. Just like be in the moment.
Yeah, everybody stop talking. Yes. The melody is catchy. Like that's what I love about music. I since I'm a music head, I break everything down. So not only am I listening to the lyrics, I'm listening to how catchy the melody is. Is it saying enough? Is it not saying enough? You know, how is the tempo? Is it a song that anybody could sing, whether it's a man singing it in his voice or a woman? And I feel like just overall, that song just kind of marked all the check boxes for me.
That's really, you know, that's interesting that you say about breaking it down, because I feel quite similarly about quite a few of Sam Smith's songs.
Nice. A great singer.
Right. Just like the way that the songs are done, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's really cool. There's a lot of like layers to it. So
yes. We love a layered track.
Yes, right. I want to hear all of the differences in the one second of music. Like, give me all of the sounds. Yeah.
Yes, and another thing I tried to focus on with this tape too, there are certain effects that you can hear in the headphones when you're listening to a song, right? You'll hear something on your left ear, and then you'll hear something on your right ear, and then you might hear a sound that both ears can do. And one of my engineers, I forgot which one, had told me, like, you know what? That's something that you should really focus on with this next tape, like giving them a whole, like you said, a sensory experience. So I feel like there'll be parts of my songs where it feels like I'm whispering it in your right ear. Then I might say something here on the left. And then there's times where it's all loud and it's like you feel it in your head. So that right there is important to me when I listen to other people's songs too. Cool. I love that.
That's really cool. Yeah, no, and I think that compliments obviously is complementary to the songwriting, you know, because it's a whole holistic thing in that way.
Yes, absolutely.
Next lightning question.
Okay.
If aliens came to Earth right now and approached you and asked you what one album best sort of describes the whole of Earth and the human experience and everything, just one album.
One album?
Yeah.
I gotta go OG with this just because I feel like this is an American, just like a legend. I'm gonna go with the Michael Jackson Thriller album, maybe.
That's the whole experience, yeah.
Because you get your slower, sultry songs, but then you get that very much upbeat American pop type of style. And I feel like the aliens, y'all can jam to this. I would look at them aliens right in their face and say, "Turn Beat It on, turn Dirty Diana on." Y'all want to know about Diana?
And turn it up, you know, in that spaceship. Get that whole spaceship like absolutely booming.
I guarantee you, the aliens by the end of that is gonna be like,
they're gonna be like, yeah,
the whole routine. They're gonna know it. They're gonna be watching the video with me.
Funny.
Yeah. That's such a funny question.
That's a good one.
I'd say Michael Jackson. Jackson.
So what is your favorite sound on the entire planet?
My favorite sound? OMG. Bass 808. 808 or bass.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Like, even when I'm performing live, none of my sets sound the same if my bass guitarist isn't there. And it sounds good, but I feel like that bass guitar, that deep undertone, man, it adds so much depth and soul. So whenever I hear an 808 or a deep bass guitar, yeah, I'm like,
that's it.
Keep that on there.
Yeah.
We need that.
Whatever you're doing, do more of it.
Do more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me, what if you could be on a playlist? So there's a festival happening, and it's Janaya on the playlist. There's 4 other artists that can perform. Who are they, dead or alive?
Her, Chris Brown, Jasmine Sullivan, Usher. I'm going to do 2 males and 2 females.
Yeah, no, that's great.
that not only are just amazing artists that we know, they're A-list celebrities, but just because they're vocalists. Everybody that I named is going to sound how they sound in person as they sound on the soundtrack. Notice?
You know what?
Notice that I didn't name any artists that, and this is no shade to any artist. Of course, I won't say any names, but of course, some artists don't sound the same performing live. And, I get it. Some people, might be nervous or whatever the case may be, but Chris Brown, Usher, Jasmine Sullivan, and her will
show up
every single time. Every single time, it's going to be
singers, real vocalists.
I'm talking, like make you feel like you're at church or make you feel like you're listening to that record times 10. They always make it a little bit more beautiful when they sing it live. So that would be the 4. That would be the 4. I love these questions.
Yeah, I'd come to that festival. It's like one of those one-day festivals in Piedmont Park.
Oh my God,
I'd pay good money for that festival.
Yes,
I can imagine at the end, everyone comes out and does like one track together or whatever.
God, that would be beautiful. That would be beautiful.
Woo!
We're manifesting all of this stuff, guys. I just want you guys to know. Just give me a few years. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, right. Some fairy dust.
Abracadabra. Yeah.
Well, those are actually less lightning questions because we got through them pretty quickly.
Good.
Those are all the questions. Do you have any questions for me?
Okay, so you said that you were a vocalist. Now, is that something you've been doing for a long time? Is it something new you've dabbled in as far as singing and far as liking the music and being kind of like in the industry and surrounded by it? When did that first spark up for you?
I've been doing it since I was really little.
And your inspiration came from where? Was it mom and dad? Was it a friend? Was it family? What influenced you at that very young age?
Family. Both my parents are musicians, so
nice.
Yeah,
me too. Well, mine don't play instrument; they sing. Yeah. Even to this day, they might sing at funerals, at weddings, at events, and I feel like that's what also helped me growing up.
Absolutely, it plants something in a young person to be surrounded by music. I mean, and that's to say with any discipline, for a young person to be surrounded by sport or to be surrounded by books, But I do think that there is something really to be said for those of us who grew up just hearing music around us, because it really is just very intrinsic. So
yes, and I want to say a quick shout out not only to my parents, but a shout out to all the parents who are musical or whether they're not musical at all, that truly invest and support their musical kids. Because coming from this generation now, and I went to college, so of course I had that talk where it's like, you don't want to be a lawyer, you don't want to be a doctor, and you know, those industries where America, where it's stereotypical, the best financial move or something that seems a little bit more promising. A lot of people fear going into the industry because it truly is a hustle. Sometimes you don't get to see money and revenue until you've done it for a while. But I just want to say shout out to my mom and dad, because still to this day they support me always. I'm talking
shout out to mom and dad. Yes. For real.
Just physically, mentally, financially, I feel like it takes very strong-willed, supportive parents to see that spark in their child and say, hey, do it. No matter if it's automatically rewarding or not, even if it does take a few years. Thank God that we have parents that's willing to be in that wait for you and be like, look, I believe that one day you're going to be that. So we're going to keep pushing you until you can be that. And that's my parents full throttle. So
I love that. Yeah.
Shout out to the family.
I absolutely agree, because parents like that, you really are, you're helping to build the next generation of artists and creatives. And that's really important. A world without the arts would be
no world.
Not anywhere I want to be.
I was about to say, not a world I want to be in, for sure.
Well, thank you so much for coming along today. I really appreciate you coming along. It's been awesome to chat with you and hear about you. Yes. Again, if you want to hear currently untitled, but possibly Lover Girl, coming out in July, Janayah's new tape, you can go find her at Janaya Tashay on all streaming platforms.
Make sure you check me out.
Follow, and subscribe.
Hey, if there's anything that you like, any producers, artists, or labels that are looking for a songwriter and are just, curious about a new sound, hit your girl up.
She's here. She's here. She's really, she's hungry for it.
I am. I'm ready. But thank you so much, Ella. You've been great today.
Thank you so much for coming along. And if you're an artist out there, or maybe you're, like we were just talking about, the parent of an artist or the friend of an artist, who you think would like to be on here and come along and talk about their musical journey and their stories as an artist and what they're into creatively, we would love to hear from you. You can check us out at Vision One Media ATL on Instagram. You can DM us there. Otherwise, we're at Vision One Social at Gmail. We have Vision One Media, our website. We're Vision One Media on Facebook. You can also reach out to me personally. I'm ellabeth.music on Facebook. But we would love to hear from you. We're always here to work with artists. We're always here to collaborate and help you realize your dreams and your passions and your ambitions. So reach out to us and we will see you in the next episode.
See ya.